just going to go through some of my drawers. My plan is to go through and pick out some products for our throwback. Let's go ahead and start off maybe with blush. Do any of you guys still have this palette? I love these Tarte palettes. FYI, I am planning to do a declutter here this afternoon, so a lot of these are probably going to be going away. Let's take some of these Tarte blushes. Sorry if you guys can hear the kids in the background, they're studying. But we're going to go ahead and pull out some Tarte blushes. I don't know which look I'm going to go with, so we'll just pull out these. Let's take a highlighter. Why don't we take the Becca Cosmetics Opal. Why don't we pull out this? Because it is the Nicole Guerrero palette. Now this palette is older, but they just brought it back. So I feel like it'd be the perfect time to play around with this. It's a little stained right here if you guys can see. But we're going to pull out this one. Concealer. Oh, this should be fun. So let's pull out... Should we do this one, you guys? This is in porcelain. This is the Pro Conceal one in porcelain. Let's do this. All right, lastly, we have the palette drawer. So here's what I'm going to do. I think because I don't know exactly how I want to do this, my plan is because I have 5 drawers, I'll have at least 5 tutorials. So what I kind of want to do is just go through each drawer. So like this week, we'll start off with this drawer and then we'll move around. You get what I'm saying? So like every week, we'll pick from a new drawer and just continually cycle through the drawer. This is my drugstore section, but I feel like my drugstore section actually has had... Well, you know what? We could play around with this. This has been around for a little bit, and I feel like I've had that for a long time. We've got some Wet n Wild ones that we could play around with. Maybe like some of these blues. Let's hold off on this drawer because I feel like some of these are kind of newer. And let's move into, and we'll start off with this drawer. So this drawer's got like influencer based, and then it's got my Colourpop in here. And this is Dominique Cosmetics. We've got some Tarte. But I've gotten a lot of requests, and when I did ask about my video, quite a few people asked for the Jaclyn Hill palette to be used again. So I think we'll play around with it this time, and then yeah, we'll cycle through. So we're gonna pull that out, but I also wanted to go into here because this here is like my glitters and my highlighters and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at this. The MAC's, what about this? The MAC pigment. This is like MAC's blue brown pigment. MAC's tan. Do you guys remember that? Yeah, do you guys like my nails? They're disgusting. We're gonna pull out one of these glitter liners. Let's take this pink one. So we just picked out everything that we're going to be using for today's video, but I wanted to make sure that the palettes that I use are going to get rotated out, that I'm not just sticking to like one drawer. So I thought it'd be fair if we just kind of moved drawer by drawer by drawer. We're going to be playing around with the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is hands down like the most requested palette I get whenever I ask like, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to see? I'm going to stick to something like this. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I've done my makeup. I really just want to throw on like a super glam bronze look. First look I'm going to go in with is this mustard tone shade. We're just going to go deep. We're going to go deep really quickly, and let's run that on our eyes. I am using the Sigma E40 as well. Next shade we're going to dive into is this one right here, which is the deepest chocolate brown. And I'm going to take that on the outer corners and just really smoke it out. And I am using a Zoeva 227. And what I do is I really just pack it on the lid. And then from the lid area, I start to slowly, in small circular motion, just start blending it outward and up towards the crease area. So I'm just going to keep packing that color on and doing the same motion and slowly working it up until I build up the intensity. I do want it to be kind of dark because I want it to be sort of a glam look. So I want to make sure that it is as deep as I can get it. Just for a little bit more depth, we're going to go in with this shade right here, just a little bit more. I just want to put this right on the outer corner to really make sure that that area is really deep. I'm going to go ahead and create a cut crease. We're going to be taking the Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer, and I have the shade Porcelain. It has been so long since I've used this concealer, you guys. And when I apply concealer, I like my eyes to be open because I find that I can kind of see exactly what it's going to look like with my eyes open. And sometimes I find that if I keep my eyes closed, it'll go up a little higher than what I want it to. Start off with the outer corner. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here. And I'm actually just going to use my finger to pop that on just so it's kind of deep. We'll take this shade right here and pop that right on the inner corner. Forgot how beautiful this shade was. Oh my gosh. And then I'm just going to toggle with my finger between the two shades just to make sure that I can kind of get a nice blend in between. And then I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up with a little bit of a makeup wipe just to get that nice clean edge. This palette never had any fallout and I loved it so much for that. So we went ahead and finished up on that eye. Now we're going to go in with the Urban Decay. This is the heavy metal glitter. I'm going to go in with this shade, which is called Cat Call. And I'm going to take it and just, let's start off by running it kind of just all over the inner corners. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not, Steph. Let's see. Maybe we could take it on, like right here. There we go. Hands down, these heavy glitter liners are my favorite ones. They just make applying glitter so much easier and they stick so well to the eyes. It's just so easy to work with. Quickly, I'm going to go ahead and pop on some lashes and liner and then we'll move into the face. Go ahead and sanitize my hands really quickly and we're going to move into the face. For primer, we're going to be using the Professional Primer. I will say when it comes down to primers, and a lot of people ask me like, hey, what primer should I get? You know, usually I'll ask them, what kind of primer are you looking for? Is your makeup breaking out? Do you find that your pores look bad throughout the day? Are your pores like enlarged? You know, like I usually like to ask them, and if they say anything like, well, I just kind of want to smooth out my skin, I don't want it to look as textured or whatever it is, I normally recommend the Professional because I do find it that it helps a lot, and I feel like it's kind of like one of the OGs aside from like the Smashbox, you know, their original primer that's been around long enough that was like the one primer that you would use for any sort of texture. And for the longest time, honestly, I used this primer so much. I remember the first time I bought it and the first time I tried it, I was like, holy crap, like I could actually see a difference. So I do love this primer. I think it's a great primer. If you have any sort of texture, I think it does help. Does it take away the texture? No, but it definitely does make everything look a little bit smoother. It definitely minimizes the pores and it does help kind of mattify the skin just a little bit and give it that nice soft feeling. So the foundation that I'm using today is the NARS. This is the Natural Radiant Longwear foundation. I'm going to go ahead and use this one today because my collection, my foundation collection, isn't that enormous like it used to be, and there's not a lot of old foundations in there that I thought that we could use today, but this is one that I haven't really dove into. Yes, it's very, very dark on me, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be mixing it with one of my foundations from my Shop My Stash to get a decent color match today. We're going to be taking one of the Sigma brushes. This is the Sigma Angled Kabuki brush. You guys remember when like the Sigma F80 brush was like the thing? That was way before the Beauty Blender. But this morning actually I got an email because my birthday's coming up here in April, and so they sent me an email for like 20% off or something, and I was like looking at the Sigma F80 because I was like, I kind of miss you. Like, look at the coverage on that, you guys. And then whatever's left over, I'm just going to take on my neck and just bring it down, just so that everything is blended. I'm going to use my sponge and I'm going to go back in with the same concealer. I'm going to be taking the Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer, same one we used for cutting the crease. It has been a hot minute since I've used this concealer and it is a little bright. This concealer, man, do you guys remember when it like first came out? It was like the thing. That's actually a lot better than what I remember. I was never really like the biggest fan of this concealer. I always felt like it broke up pretty badly on me. That's why I never really used it. If I used it, it would be like, you know, for cut creases and stuff. I'm just going to apply a little bit more because I feel like I need just a little bit more coverage. And I'll use a sponge this time. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of the Mary Do Manizer and use it to pop on the high points. Pop a little bit on my nose. Oh shit, that's a lot. I might use the luminizer for the inner corner to make sure I got like a really nice bright inner corner. I'm going to go ahead and set underneath the eyes. We went ahead and used the Coty Airspun for today. I feel like it does a really good job at like holding my oils. All right, to set the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with MAC's Studio Powder. So I feel like this actually is a really good one to add to the video just because, you know, I'm sure we all have had a MAC powder at some point in our lives. I picked out this palette, which was one of the holiday collections from Tarte a while ago, but this is in the shade Social Butterfly. So I'm going to go ahead and use this bronzer right here. I'm actually surprised by how well this is held up. Like, it's actually done a really nice job. I've used this on numerous occasions. I've even used this. The eyeshadows, not so much. Like, the eyeshadows kind of stink, but they were kind of crappy to begin with, honestly. I've done a really good job here, I feel like, the last couple of years with not purchasing a lot of the Tarte and Too Faced holiday collection palettes, because I never found that they were like the best. I mean, we all know this. They were never the best formulas. I always felt like they were really cheap, but it was always the packaging that got to me. Always the packaging. But I always did feel like there may have been one or two things that were subpar that you would actually end up using quite a bit. And this is probably, of the entire collection, this is what I use the most. So I have taken this with me like on vacation and stuff and used it by itself, and I do find that it works really nicely, so that's nice to see. All right, so let's finish off with the blushes. I have some of these Tarte blushes here. I always use Exposed. I find it to be like one of my favorite blushes ever. I have this one here, which is Accio, I think is how you say it. So it's super bright. I only have used this a handful of times. I do find that I normally reach for it in the summer when I want something really bright and intense. Sorry, I've got something. But I think today I'm going to go in with Captivating. And Captivating is kind of like this nice, soft, almost like a peachy pink kind of a shade. So I'm going to take that and apply it to the apples of my cheeks. We're going to take this green pencil. This is by Urban Decay. It is the shade Overdrive. We're going to use this forest green shade and pop that in the lash line. So what I want to do for the lower lash line is go in with kind of something like these two combined. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this green and apply it to my lower lash line as well, because I'm finding that it's making it pop a little bit more. So we'll take that. I'm going to take a little bit of the Mary Lou Manizer, pop that on the back of my hand. And then using my pinky finger, I'm going to take it and pop it on the inner corners. And then I do want to intensify that a little bit more. So I'm going to go in and take the top corner shade, the brightest shade in the palette, and pop that on the inner corner. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set everything using the MAC Fix Plus. Kind of confused, you guys. I don't know which one I want to go in with. I have two highlighters. I've got the Nicole Guerrero palette, which is like old, but then it's like new. Do you know what I mean? Because they like came back out with it. So I also have the Opal one by Becca. And I feel like this one's, it's been a while since I've played with this one. You guys can see, this is my favorite highlighter from Becca. Opal was always my favorite. We'll go ahead and use this one. And I'm just going to lightly pop it on there. You have to be kind of careful with this highlighter because I feel like it could definitely get a little intense if you let it. I was looking through my entire collection to figure out exactly what I had available for like older lipsticks. You guys know I just did like a declutter, so I don't have a whole lot of older lipsticks, but I was like, let's do a MAC lipstick, right? I think let's try a MAC lipstick. So we're gonna take MAC's Velvet Teddy lipstick, and this is my second purchase. I'm just gonna take a little bit of clear gloss and pop that right in the center. If you guys are wanting to know, it's not old, it's new, but it's like one of my only new glosses. It's the Fenty one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pop that right in the center, and then I'm gonna go fix my hair. Alright guys, so there we have it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys liked the very first one of our Throwback Tuesday tutorial or something. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I kind of like that. It's kind of catchy. I have to look and find out if somebody else has it. I'm sure other people do like Tuesday tutorials or Throwback Tuesdays or Thursdays, whatever it is, but I'll figure out something, right? Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. If you guys saw something, again, let me know down below what you guys want to see next week and come back again for it. I hope to continue doing this series. I think it'd be really fun, and it's also another way for me to really use up my makeup and really get through a bunch of stuff and really kind of play around with it, especially during a time like right now where a bunch of us are being very cautious on what we are purchasing. This is a good way to just get a little bit of motivation to kind of play around with some older makeup that we have already sitting in our collection. So I love you guys. I will see you guys all in my next video. I upload Sunday through Thursday, 8 a.m. So make sure to hit that notification bell. If you guys have not hit that notification bell, please make sure to hit it so you guys are notified when I throw up a new video. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.